Hey guys, today I have a really fun quick video, hopefully quick, I'll try to make it quick, but it's a super easy video on how to pressure can chicken. We found a great deal at our local Sprouts, which if you're not familiar is a local grocery store here for us. They had free range organic chicken, that's the chicken breast, and it was like $4.49 per pound, which is the cheapest I've seen in our area. So we bought a ton of chicken and I wanted to pressure can it. We make chicken salads with it. We also love to make pretty much like tacos and just put it in a pan and put taco seasoning in it. But this thing right here is a beast. I'm not sponsored by Presto. However, Presto, if you want to send me another one, I will gladly take it because I want to have multiple so I can pressure can all day long. So anyway, I've never used a pressure canner that is, like a stovetop where you have to keep the PSI at a certain amount of PSI for a certain amount of time. And if you hear noise, Holly and Luca are working in the kitchen right now. That's why I'm here in this little corner away from the kitchen. I'm actually at our dining table right now. I'm gonna pressure can over here because we did a video on our Azure standard haul and we got a lot of canned goods, or not canned goods, we got a lot of dry goods to can, and now the dog's going off. But anyway, this is reality in our home. So they're taking out all the containers, refilling, and they have the whole island essentially is taken over with putting stuff back, which is great. So I'm just gonna, in this little corner here, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how easy it is to pressure can chicken. And I am using these 8-ounce mason jars right here. I just bought them, I rinsed them off. And I'm gonna use the 8-ounce mason jars, the ones that are the wide mouth. That way I can actually stack these inside here and I can fit more. I think I can fit 20 if I remember correctly, but the other ones that are 8-ounce that are, the regular mouth that are taller, I can only fit about 10 of those. So I have a lot of chicken that I bought and I wanna see if I can get 20 in there. And if I can get 20, I'll have 38-ounce containers or jars of pressure can chicken ready to go. And I mean, it's just amazing. I can open that up, like I said, put in tacos, put it in soups, make any chicken tortilla soup, or I don't know, just have chicken plain. Just have chicken ready to make and already made and ready to eat. Anyway, let me show you how to do this because it's pretty easy. I'm gonna open up these jars over here, just get a few lined up. And as soon as I get them all filled up, I'll start rotating them. But I'm gonna try to get all 20 of these jars. I think I have enough chicken. My hands are washed, they're all clean. These are all clean, they're rinsed out. I'm not of the camp that you have to have your kitchen like a lab and everything needs to be super sterilized and whatnot, because the pressure canner essentially is cooking out all that stuff. So my chicken is cold, ready to go. Everything I got is clean. Let's start filling these up. So you can feel free to cut up the chicken. Honestly, really doesn't matter. You can feel free to cut it up in whatever size you want. I cut it roughly 1 inch by 1 inch cubes. And you can do this with chicken breasts, you can do it with chicken thighs. I just make sure there's no bone in the meat. So this is about how full I fill it up. I did say about 1 inch headspace. I'm gonna press these down. I do like to pack it quite a bit in. I say about 1 inch, but I do a little less, but I've done it this way, and when you do it, the chicken does shrink and it lowers, and then the juices stay they stay inside and it seals just fine. So this is about what I do. You could probably do less, but it kind of feels sad to do less, because then it's just not enough chicken for, for a person. That's a chicken tender, look at that. Okay, so now I'm just gonna I got one hand that's my chicken hand and the other one's clean, so it's easy to handle stuff. But all I'm doing now is just putting in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in every jar. I don't put any liquid in these because the salt draws out the liquid, but also when it pressure cooks, it will render down any of the juices, and then we have almost like a beautiful broth in there that's just obviously just from the meat, but it tastes so good. That is it in terms of what I gotta do. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jars. I just gotta repeat that 13 more times, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put these back. I'm gonna screw the lid on. I will say, when you put the lid on, make sure you put the lid on finger tight. So I just put it on barely so it's finger tight. You don't want to overly tighten these, okay? So that's pretty much what it should look like. That is 1 jar ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap all these up, put them back in here, and then do all of them, and then I'll go ahead and start. I'm trying to work quick because the chicken is cold. I don't want it to, you know, thaw out too much until I put it in the pressure canner. Okay, so I got more jars here. I got more chicken to fill this up. Gonna keep going. Okay, so I got my chicken hands all cleaned up. I got my surfaces all cleaned up because I don't know about you, when you're cutting chicken, you just, I don't know, I just want to work quick and get it clean and done and out of the way. So I have 20 of these jars ready to go. I did forget to mention too, and I didn't show you because I didn't do it. I forgot, and then afterwards I had to go back and do it. But I take a paper towel and I wet it with a little bit of distilled white vinegar, and then you go around each rim just to clean it up in case there's some chicken bits around the edges. It helps make sure that you have a good seal on your jars. So that's something I forgot to show you, but you know, this is kind of real life. When I try to do this, this is how I do it. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I forgot to do it. Sometimes I do it. And when you can a lot and you know, you just get in a routine, you kind of forget some steps sometimes. And your brain escapes you. And my brain is gone today. So here I got the 20 jars. The next thing is, let's go ahead and let me show you the pressure canner. We're gonna load it up, put them in, we're gonna stack them. I think it was 20 that you can stack, if not maybe 18. I don't know. If not, if a few don't fit, I'll just put them in the fridge when this batch is done. It takes about, from beginning to end, it takes about 3 hours. But the nice thing is you set it at the beginning, you get a few settings, and then afterwards it's just passive. So I just let it go, we go about our day. And when it's done and pressure cans, then, you know, I'll show you that whole thing. But I do have some other ones that are already pressure cans, and I can show you what they look like when they're done. Okay guys, so it's time to put these in the pressure canner, and then I can show you the settings. We're gonna set it for 75 minutes on the pressure canner, but I'll show you that in a second. So these are half pint. So typically for pint jars, it's 75 minutes for pint jars, but because I'm stacking them, I'm gonna go ahead and just do the full 75 minutes. I'd rather it be a little longer than a little shorter, and you know, I don't know, just in my brain for safety reasons, it feels better. Again, this is not like a video on all the safety things of pressure canning or a tutorial on how to pressure can everything. I just wanted to show you how I pressure can chicken the easy way, because I've seen a lot of really, really good tutorials on YouTube and I've learned a lot, but a lot of them have a lot of information and are really, really descriptive. And I am the type of person, I'm like, just show me how it's done first, and then later I can learn a lot of the details. And I just like to see it just be done, the visual of it in a sense. So that's why for me, I'm like, here are the bullet points, here are the steps how to do it. And then all the other like explanation and safety precautions and other things, I'm like, that's all over YouTube. But so anyway, I just wanted to show you guys, let's go ahead and get the pressure canner going. So I went ahead and filled up the pressure canner. It's right at that line. This pressure canner has a line where you just fill the jars. This is cold right now, and this is called the raw pack method, where you essentially just raw pack the meat inside, and then we go ahead and get this up to temperature and then can it. So I can't remember, like I said, how many I can fit, but it looks like 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. So 7. I'm going to be able to fit 14. So I'm going to have to do another batch. I couldn't remember if it was like 18 or 20, because I haven't done the stack method in a while. But you can go ahead and stack them just like this. No problem. Okay guys, so I have this double stacked here. So I have 14 total. And now we're gonna go ahead and put the lid on. Right there, go ahead and seal it. This right here, I'm gonna pop it out. And then later we can put this back on. So right here it says insert jars and then pressure can. And I apologize, I have a GoPro camera and for some reason this is blinking on the camera, but in person it does not. But I apologize, on camera it's what it's doing. So now you're gonna just push that button, let it go to the warm setting. What it's gonna do, it's gonna go through these whole, I don't know if you can see here, but it says warm, vent, heat, can, cool, done. So it's gonna warm right now. It'll take a while and then I'm gonna go ahead and I have to push the button again after it warms. What it's doing, it's warming up the jars, getting it up to temperature. This is a raw pack, meaning, you know, they're packed raw in there, so they're cold. So this is gonna warm up the jars, warm up the chicken with it, and then it has to vent for some time. So this eventually right here will be spewing out some pressure, and then it will say pressure can on here, and then we just add this little thing right on top where right here you can see it says can. So this little nozzle will just stay there. This will hold the pressure and then this will count down to 75 minutes. It'll cool itself down. It does have to come down to pressure. So you can't open this while it's going. It won't let you open it until it's fully cooled down and it says done. And then after it's done, you just take them out, make sure they're all sealed. You'll hear them start to pop and make sure they're all sealed. I just let them sit out overnight and outside and, you know, room temperature. I can even put a little towel on here or on my counter and then lay them all out, let them cool, and then you can put them in your pantry ready to go. But I'll show you all these steps as it happens so that you can see it. So warm right now is going, and then I'll show you the next step as soon as this is ready to go. But let me not forget to take this off. It's not a big deal if you forget. I've forgotten and it actually worked out just fine. There is a vent setting here so you can let it just put it in vent. It'll do the same thing, but I just keep it off for ease and then I put it on when I'm ready to can. So right now, let's just go ahead and let that warm up and I'll show you the next step as soon as it's ready. So of course I miscalculated how many. It was 14 that it can hold. I made 20 of these. So I'm gonna put the rest in the fridge. Once this batch is done, I'm just gonna go ahead and can another batch, which is okay because I actually have more chicken left over that I bought. We bought a lot of chicken because it was a really good price. So I'm gonna go ahead, put that in the fridge. Whenever the next batch is, whenever it's ready, this batch is done, I'll go ahead and do another batch because we use this a lot. Okay, so now it's asking me to fill jars so that, the reason it has a warm setting is so that you can warm up the jars on the inside separately, then you can fill them so that they're ready to go. But I don't do that. I warm the jars with the chicken and everything. And then, so when it says fill jars, I just hit, you can push this button inside like that, or you can push this button, the gray one right here. And now it's going to heat. And in the meantime, while that's cooking, I did want to show you, this is the digital pressure cooker canner deal. This is the instruction packet thing that comes with it. So this is where it shows you how you can stack. I didn't show you this on camera, but I did end up moving the one in the middle because, when it's sitting right on top of the lid, you don't necessarily want that. So you want to offset the one in the center, just slightly off. And I realized that after I did it. So I changed that, I fixed it. Made sure to do that. But yeah, just wanted to make note of that so that you do that as well. You can offset them, but it does fit 14. Here's a little chart that tells you kind of what size, jars, and then how many it will fit of those. But this book is great. It's kind of like a cheat sheet. It'll tell you pretty much everything you need to know. But I'm going to show you here. Let's see, spaghetti sauce without meats. It'll show you, has recipes for tomato juice, tomato sauce, even for salsa, and it'll tell you which method to use. So there's a section for water bath canning, and there's a section for pressure canning. So I'm just doing the pressure canning for the meats because they are low acid foods, which you typically pressure can those. But I just thought I'd show you that real quick so you can see kind of how that goes. Because when I was trying to learn about stacking, I didn't really find many videos on what that looked like, and I was wondering if you could stack them. And there was some people on Facebook groups that knew all about it, and they were sharing all the info, but I thought I'd make a video about it so that you can see, and then you can also see kind of what on the instruction manual, what kind of diagram and what it looks like and all that good stuff. So anyway, this is just still in the heat mode. It should vent soon and I'll show you what that looks like. Alrighty, now it's beeping at me. It's saying put regulator on, which is this right here, and it says can. So put the regulator on like that. That's all you do there, and then push the button, and that's it. Now we wait 75 minutes plus the cool down time, which is just about the same. So I would say in an hour, maybe 2 hours, this should be all done. It takes a different amount of cool down time, but all in all, 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours from beginning to end of the process. But again, I just walked away and let this do its thing, and then now it's just gonna go for a while. So it's exciting. We're gonna have, I wanted to show you here. This is pressure canned chicken that I've already pressure canned. I didn't have the shorter squatty jars. This is the 8-ounce jar, but I don't store mine with the lids, the rings on. And typically it's not recommended, but that's sealed. I'm just gonna write on top what it is and the date. I did this yesterday or 2 days ago. I'm gonna have to look back, but I have 10 of these jars. Notice here how it doesn't fully cover the chicken, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You can add water to get it to fully cover, but it's perfectly safe. It's just absolutely preference. I don't mind, I like it. I like some of the juice, but frankly I don't love all of it, because a lot of the times I wanna make, this is getting loud, it's coming to pressure right here. When this thing pops, it'll pop up, and then it'll start to pressurize in there even further. But anyway, at the end I'll show you, I can make a little chicken salad or something. I'll show you what it looks like and how it kind of shreds up really easily, and it's so good. Doesn't look the most appetizing in the jar, but I'm kind of used to it, so it looks normal to me. Oh, right here. Let's watch it go up. It's coming up. There we go. Now you can hear it, it's quiet, and then as soon as, in a little bit, it will start counting down once that is fully popped up there. But this is the end product that we're looking for. Okay, pressure canner is almost done. It's on cool setting, it has 1 minute left. After that minute goes away, that should go down, and then we can open it. But I wanted to show you in the meantime, let's open up a can, and I was gonna make a little mini chicken salad. I couldn't find a big bowl, so let's go tiny bowl. But just a simple, I wouldn't even call it chicken salad. It's literally mayonnaise, chicken, and salt, but I'm gonna get some chips or something and then just kind of scoop it up with it. But I wanted to open the can and show you guys. Ooh, it says done. Alrighty, so I had to grab the end of my fork and I popped this lid a little bit open because these jars seal so crazy tight. Look at that. They're so crazy tight, and that's what the chicken looks like. Okay, I was trying to do that one-handed, but here you can see what the chicken looks like. I mean, it just looks like chicken, but it breaks up super easily, just like that. Let's go ahead and try just a bit plain. Ooh, that just sealed, or not sealed, unsealed. It opened up. Tastes great. We like that it has the moisture of its own juices, so it's not dry. It doesn't taste mushy at all. It has some texture still. Salt is perfect. I mean, look at that. It's great. Chicken in a can, ready to go. Kind of reminds me of the texture of pulled pork because it does break up very easily. I added some mayo to this. Let's mix it up. All right, that's a lot of mayo. I put a little too much mayo, but that's all right. I just add a little more chicken. Here we go. Let's taste. And this is the mayonnaise that I like to use, the Chosen. I just love it. With some chips, we like to use like the cassava chips. You can just scoop it up for a little crunch. Sometimes I add lime to this and cilantro. Or I'd go full-blown chicken salad with apples and walnuts and celery or tacos, like I said. It's too good. It's so easy. Let's open up the canner so that we can see the contents. Okay. Look at that. And now, I kept the box that the mason jars came in, so we can go ahead and just place it right on the box. And I had these little tong things, you know, that for canning. Got them off of Amazon. Look at that. These look great. Woo, hot. I'm gonna go ahead and place them all here. I see no issues with siphoning. Siphoning is when the liquid pours out of here, siphons out. Looks good. Now I just gotta wait. There you go. Did you hear that pop? I saw the pop. There you go. They're popping. That's great. Good sign. Excuse me, sir. You gotta come with me. See how these still have that little dimple there? This dimple went down. I don't know if you can see that right there. That's up still, that's down. So, they need a little bit yet. Let me get all these out and then I'll show you. Okay, friends. Look at that cooking away. It looks perfect. So far, 70% of them. So far, 1, 2, 3. No, more than that. Like 80% so far have already popped. Usually it takes just a little bit and then they all do it, but I've been hearing the little pop, 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 the little ping sound, and they're all getting going. So there goes another one. That one I didn't hear, but they're going. So I'm just gonna let these sit out here. Let me show you. So I placed them back in the boxes and I just let them kind of spread out a little bit so they get some air. You can see this one here not sealed yet. That one's sealed. This is lower. This one too, this one too, this one's sealed. This one's not, this one's almost there. Sealed, so on and so forth. So I'm letting these just air out. I'll watch them, make sure they all seal. If, you know, in the next hour or so, one of them isn't, some of them aren't sealed or whatever, I will put them in the fridge because more than likely they probably won't seal, but I never really had an issue with them not sealing. If you remember that trick to wipe them around the rim, like I forgot, it works. But even if you forget sometimes, like I try to make sure I put the chicken right in the center and I didn't like, you know, touch the edges too much. So even if you forget, it's fairly forgiving. So that's pretty much it. Got some chicken in my teeth. I got a little bit of chicken left to eat here. I'm gonna grab some chips. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope that was helpful. And yeah, let me know if you make it and any other things that you guys pressure can. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Also, P.S. This chicken is the one that I had in the fridge. I'm gonna go ahead and pressure can that. But because I had it in the fridge and it's cold and the pressure canner is done and is really hot, I'm not putting, ooh, do you hear that? Ah, they're all, let's see, I think we have none left. They're all sealed. I'll show you that in a second. But I'm gonna let these go room temperature for, not room temperature, you know, to where it's bad, but just cool off. No, not, they are cooled off. Warm up. I'm just gonna let them sit room temp, I guess, for a little bit, and I'm gonna let the pressure canner cool down some so that this doesn't go into hot water, because you can have thermal shock with the jars and then, you know, the jars can crack. And that's something we don't like around here. So let me show you the jars now because they're all sealed. Look at that. So that depression there is down completely for all of them. And I heard the pop as I was sitting here. That was maybe 10 minutes, if that, from when I took them out. And I'm gonna let that do its thing. Once they're done, again, I'll remove these rings and I will store them away without the rings. But I'm gonna let them cool down because they are hot. That one's still bubbling, do you see that? But a 100% success rate. That's pretty good. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and do this maybe 20 minutes or so, something like that, once everything kind of gets cooled down and warmed up at the same time. Anyway, bye.